Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ. All right. So I bring that out because so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the first word is beware, meaning be cautious, be aware. You know what I'm saying? Use your brain. You know what I'm saying? Use your mind, use your brain, trust your spirit. Beware. It says, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of man. Right? The third eye would be one of them. And I'm going to go through the scriptures to break it down. It says, after the rudiments of the world and not after Christ. And the third eye doctrine, it ain't got nothing to do with Christ. All right? So, most high willing, do the spirit, and we'll break it down to the best of my understanding with the scriptures. Shalaki. So real quick, we got this article right here about the third eye. You see, you got the image right there. So this is an article on the third eye, and it's by Token Rock. All right. So I'm just going to read about 3 paragraphs. It says, the third eye is known as the gateway to higher consciousness. It is alternately symbolized, it may alternately symbolize a state of enlightenment. In Eastern and Western spiritual traditions, third eye is known as the inner eye, the mystical and esoteric concept referring to the ajna. I think I pronounced it right, but it's also known as the chakra. The third eye is associated with clairvoyance, out-of-the-body experiences, visions, and precognition. People who have developed the third eye are known as seers. So, it's a lot of folly in this first paragraph. All right. First and foremost, your consciousness. It says the third eye is known as a gateway. It's known as the gateway to higher consciousness. Right? So, let's see what the scriptures say about your consciousness. That's next. So, this book of Acts, chapter 23 and verse 1. And Paul earnestly beholding the council said, Men and brethren, I have lived in all good conscience before God until this day. So, with that being said, you can have a bad conscience and you can have a good conscience. Right? Paul said that he lived in all good conscience before God until this day. So the third eye, it doesn't tell you. Well, first you gotta understand what good is. What is it to have a good conscience? You gotta understand that first. So let's get it. It's Romans chapter 7 and verse 12. It says, wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment is holy and just and good. So going back to Acts 23, when Paul said that he lived according to a good conscience unto God, he was saying his conscience, his mind, his spirit was always meditating and dwelling on the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what's good. The law is holy, and the commandment holy and just and good. So the laws and the commandments, that's what's good. So to have a good conscience, that means you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. So if your third eye is known as a gateway to higher consciousness, then the third eye should be allowing you or influencing you to keep the commandments, but it doesn't do that. It says it may alternately symbolize a state of enlightenment. In Eastern and Western spiritual traditions, the third eye is known as the inner eye. The inner eye will also be known as your spirit. It says the mystical and esoteric concept referring to the ajna, known as a chakra. So we don't deal with mystical, you know what I'm saying, like magic and things that's not real. Everything in the Bible is true and real, you know what I'm saying? Nothing's mystical. This is all true. The power of God, it may seem mystical to these other nations, but there's nothing mystical about it. So, and when you're dealing with that, you going into all kinds of other stuff, all kinds of folly, things that ain't got nothing to do with the Word of God. All right. It says the third eye is associated with the clairvoyance out of the body experiences, visions, and precognition. People who have developed the third eye are known as seers. So a seer would be someone who can like tell the future, who can see into the future, know what's to happen next, know what's to come to pass. That's what this doctrine is saying, this third eye doctrine. You can basically see into the future if you have your third eye. However, let's see what the scriptures say. This Colossians chapter 1 verse 26. It says, even the mystery which have been hid from ages and from generations, but now is made manifest to his saints. Right? So the mysteries, it's the precepts, it's the metaphors, the slang, the prophecies, the word and the scriptures is manifest to his saints. So if you're keeping this third eye doctrine and think you're a seer, meaning know the future, you're wrong. Because the future is everything in these scriptures, everything in this word, in this truth, and in this Bible is prophecy, meaning it has already happened, or it's happening as we speak, or it will come to pass in the future. Right? But the Most High said that it's only made manifest to his saints. And his saints are those that are keeping the faith, staying strong, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. So that the third eye doctrine ain't got nothing to do with the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, so let's keep reading. And the law, statutes, and commandments ain't got nothing to do with the third eye doctrine either. It says Hinduism and Buddhism use the third eye as symbolism of enlightenment. Right? So now we're going into the religion. Hinduism and Buddhism. It says, it is referred to as the eye of knowledge in Indian tradition. So this is in Indian tradition. When you get into the third eye doctrine, it ain't got nothing to do with us. If you so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, or Israelite, the third eye doctrine has nothing to do with you. This is Indian tradition. This ain't got nothing to do with the Word of God. It's not in the scriptures. The doctrine isn't. I'm going to break it down though. So it says East Asian and Indian. Shalakia. Stumble on the word. I'm going to say it in the best of my ability. Shalakia. East Asian and Indian iconography show the third eye as a dot, eye, or mark on the forehead of deities and other enlightened beings. So we know East Indians, also known, well, so-called East Indians, their biblical nationality would be Elam, right? Elam. They like to put that red dot in the middle of the forehead, but this is why they do it, because this is their tradition. This is a part of their religion. This third eye doctrine. This ain't got nothing to do with us. It says Hindus place a tilak between the eyebrows as a representation of the third eye. Right, so that's why they do it. It's a part of their tradition, their culture, and their religion. In other words, it's man-made. Right? That's why I brought Colossians 2:8. Beware of false doctrines. All right. Moving on. It says there are two small organs in the brain known as the pituitary body and the pineal gland. So we know the pineal gland, that's like in the middle of your head, your forehead. It says medical science refers to the pineal gland as the atrophied third eye. It is said that neither of these glands are atrophied. These glands were once used in the past as a means for a man to get in touch with the inner worlds, his way to ingress. So the inner worlds would be the spirit worlds. So that's how you know this going off. So the third eye is really to get you to go to enter new dimensions, to enter different dimensions, to go places you're not supposed to be. Now you're getting involved with the spirit world. So that's why I brought that scripture, Colossians 2:8, beware. Because it's going to have you going off and it's going to take you away from the truth. All right. It says, Shalaki. It says these glands will again serve that purpose. Man will again possess the ability of the clairvoyance by remembering how to establish a connection to the pineal gland and the pituitary body, but on a much grander scale by connecting the pineal gland and the pituitary body with the cerebrospinal nervous system. Once this is accomplished, it will be under the control of man's will. So this stuff is wild, man. It's just folly. The third eye is pure folly. It's saying, it's lucky. It's saying you basically have free will. Like you can do whatever you want. You can enter into new dimensions. You can tell the future, you know what I'm saying? And you can do whatever you want. Like the Most High doesn't control you. There's no such thing as free will. He said that man can do as he will. So, let me bust that down real quick. Chapter 20 and verse 24. It says, man's goings are of the Lord Yahweh. How can a man then understand his own way? Right, so we don't have free will. Man's goings, they can be waking up in the morning. You might set an alarm to wake up at 7 a.m. But somehow you sleep through it. Because man's goings are of the Lord. The Most High wanted you to wake up at a later time. Right? Man's goings is you might plan to run these errands and pick up these groceries, drop the kids off, whatever the case may be. But out of nowhere, you get a flat tire because man's goings of the Lord. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? The Most High got something else planned. Now you at home for the rest of the day. That's just some examples. But the point is, there's no free will. The third eye saying you have free will. So let's prove with the scriptures what the third eye really is. Because we know these other nations, they get everything from us. And they turn it into something wicked that ain't got nothing to do with the Most High. So I'm going to start off with Matthew chapter 6 and verse 22. This is the book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 22. It says, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body should be full of light. So the light of the body is the eye. Right? So we know we have two eyes. So this is talking about your spirit. The light of the body is the spirit. Right? That spiritual eye. Right? And it says, if therefore thine eye be single, when it's single, this just means fulfilled or full or complete. So if your spirit is full, complete, or fulfilled, it says thy whole body should be full of light. So if your so-called third eye, right, is basically your spirit, and the light of the body is the eye, you gotta understand what the light is. Right? So let's prove that real quick. Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 23. It says, for the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. So the light is the law, statutes, and commandments. That's all it is. So if you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, you fulfilling your spiritual eye. Now you gaining wisdom and knowledge. That's all it's saying. So Matthew chapter 6 verse 22, the light of the body is the eye. So the law, statutes, and commandments is what gives you your spiritual eye. It says, if therefore thine eye be single, right, if your spirit be fulfilled, complete, whole, it says thy whole body should be full of light. So your whole body is full of the law, statutes, and commandments. Your whole body could be your life. Your whole body could be literally you as a person. Like you showing Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai's wondrous works. Right? You shining your light. You shining the light He bless you with. It can be your gifts, your talents and skills, but you showing it as you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, let me prove that real quick. First Corinthians chapter 12 verse 4. Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. So the same Spirit will be the same Spirit of Christ. Because we're supposed to be, walking as He walked. Christ kept the commandments. But Christ, He had different gifts than us, right? Christ, He can fast 40 days and 40 nights. That's a gift. The scriptures say, I'm going to read it again. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 4. Now there are different diversities of gifts. So we all have different gifts, talents, skills, but the same Spirit. But we all, not we all, but you know what I'm saying? Like Israelites in the truth. That's, keeping the faith, being strong. We have the same Spirit. We all know to keep the commandments. But we all have, our own set of gifts, talents, and skills. The way Yahweh created us and ordained us to be. But using these gifts, skills, and talents, we still have to keep the commandments. And that just shows how holy and special we are and blessed by our Father Yahweh. Alright. So, ignoring that. Alright, Matthew chapter 6, verse 23. But if thy eye be evil, thy whole body should be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? So it says, but if thy eye be evil, thy whole body should be full of darkness. Right? If you have an evil spirit, you're not keeping no laws, you're not keeping no commandments, you're full of darkness. If you're not keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, you're in darkness, period. Like, you're in the world. It says, if therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? That's just like, and that's just like, period. You might come across somebody as a man, you might see a woman like, oh yeah, she a dime, you know, she look good. Like she a bad chick. But you start talking to her and you see how she really is. You see she got a bad spirit. Like, she got an evil spirit. She look good but got an evil spirit. And from that point on, she just ugly to you. The same thing if a woman, you know, came across a man and she may think that man is the most beautiful man she ever seen, or the most attractive man she's ever seen, and she started talking to him, and that man's just wicked as hell. You know, he got an evil spirit. And from that point on, dude is unattractive. He's ugly to her now. That's what Yahweh Shai saying in this metaphor. It says, but if thy eye be evil, thy whole body should be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness? Right? If your spirit is complete darkness, full of darkness, that's a great darkness. Meaning you in the world, you in all kinds of sin. You eating pork, you know what I'm saying? You eating shrimp, crab, and lobster. You shaving your beard. You know, you hoeing out the daughters of Zion. You sleeping around with other dudes as a man. There's all kinds of wickedness, full of darkness. It's all in the world, right? Precept real quick. It's 1 John chapter 4, verse 4. It said, ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. So we are of God. If you in the truth, you know you're Israelite, keeping the commandments, ye are of God, little children. Shalakia, little children, right? Sons of the living God, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you. Because the Spirit is in us. Most High put that Spirit in us. He ordained us from the womb. It says, then he that is in the world. Right, we greater than those that are in the world. Just because the Most High put that Spirit in us and we keeping the commandments. Verse 5, they are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. So, being in the truth, the world not going to hear us. Like, if they in the world, these other nations, 2/3, majority of them not going to hear us. Right? It says, they are of the world, therefore speak they of the world. The people that are in the world, they literally speak of the world. Like, you can go around, you can go anywhere. You go to work, you go to class, school, you go to get some food, you go out to eat, movies, whatever the case may be, the park. These people that's in the world, these 2/3, all they talk about is worldly things. They talk about LeBron James. They talk about who gonna win the Super Bowl. Women that talk about Cardi B, city girls. You know what I'm saying? Getting their nails done, getting bundles of weave. Jake talk about the next Air Jordans that's coming out. Who gonna be first in line? You know, just talk about all kinds of folly and wickedness. It ain't got nothing to do with the kingdom of heaven. They are of the world. They speak of the world, and the world hear them. But you get around Israelites and the truth, all we talk about is His word. You know what I'm saying? Breaking down the precepts. How can we keep the law better? Meditating on the law, right? Doing things that's gonna help us progress to get the kingdom. That's gonna help us endure to the end. That's what we do, man. So let me get another precept. Luke 11. It's the book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 33. It says, "No man, when he have lighted a candle, putteth it in a secret place, neither under a bushel, but on a candlestick, that they which come in may see the light." So it said, no man, when he have lighted a candle, put it in a secret place. Right? Because if you light a candle, you got to put it somewhere that it can brighten the room so that you can see. If you put it in a secret, this light is Israel and the truth, keeping the commandments, and the spirit that Yahweh put in you. Prove it real quick. Shalaki and the connection is poor. It's Revelation chapter 4, verse 5. "And out of the throne proceeded lightnings and thunderings and voices, and there were seven lamps of fire burning before the throne, which are the seven spirits of God." So the seven lamps, the fire burning, the light, it's the spirits of God. It's just the spirit of God. So Luke chapter 11, verse 33, "No man, we have lighted a candle, put it in a secret place, neither under a bushel, but on a candlestick, that they which come in may see it." Because you got to shine the light that the Most High bless you with. When you get that light, you get that spirit from the Most High, you got to start keeping the commandments. Shine the light He bless you with. Shalaki, and use your gifts, right? Your skills and talents that He bless you with, use it. But use it keeping the commandment, you know what I'm saying? Give the Most High all the honor. Shalaki, bear with me, the connection poor, and keep pausing. Verse 34, the light of the body is the eye. Therefore, when thy eye is single, thy whole body also is full of light. Because remember, the word single is meaning fulfilled or complete. So if your eye is fulfilled or complete, that means that your spirit is fulfilled and complete because you're keeping the commandments. It says, "But when thy eye is evil, thy body also is full of darkness." Verse 35, "Take heed therefore that the light which is in thee be not darkness." Verse 36, "If thy whole body therefore be full of light, having no part dark, the whole shall be full of light, as when the bright shining of the candle doeth give thee light." So that's just a precept to land me back off what the light is and how you gotta shew the wondrous works of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Keep the commandments. Alright. Matthew 25. This is the book of Matthew. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 25, verse 1. And it reads, "Then shall the kingdom of heaven be like unto the virgins which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom." So the bridegroom will be the bridegroom will be with Yahweh Shai. It says, "And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish." Verse 3, "They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them." Right? So the lamps, the oil would be the faith and the works. So keeping the commandments and being strong in the faith, you gotta have the faith and works. All right. So read it again. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. So they foolish because they took their lamps, but they didn't have no oil. They didn't have the faith, or they didn't have the works. Shlaki. Verse 4. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom commandeth, Go ye out to meet him. Verse 7. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. And that is foolish. Because that's foolish. At the last minute, basically at the last minute, the foolish, they didn't believe to begin with. That's why they didn't have no oil. But the wise believed, was keeping the commandments, and had faith. So at the last minute, the foolish went to the wise and asked them for some of their oil. You know what I'm saying? Asked them, how can we keep these laws? What I need to do. It's foolish. At the last minute, because you see, now you can actually see. Because they couldn't see it to begin with, Being in this truth, we don't see anything. We hoping, but we know it's in our spirit. Verse 9, but the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. Wow. Basically said, hell in my face. Verse 10, and while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Verse 11, afterward came also the other virgin. Verse 11, afterward came also the other virgin. Verse 11, afterward came also the other virgin, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. So Christ, that's exactly what he said he's going to do too in Proverbs 1 and 26. Because they didn't believe. They thought they can just believe, oh yeah, I know I'm going to be saved, but not keeping the commandments. That's faith without works. Faith without works is dead. That's why he said, I know you not. You dead. That proves it. It's James chapter 2 verse 17. Even so, faith, if it have not works, is dead being alone. So the foolish men, or the foolish virgins, they didn't have oil. They just had their lamps. All they had was faith. They didn't have no works. They weren't keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. They were dead to begin with. Right? So this James chapter 2 verse 17 again. Even so, faith, if it have not works, is dead being alone. So you got to have both. You got to have faith and the works. You got to believe the things that you can't see, that you know it's going to come to pass based off these prophecies. And you got to keep the commandments. You got to be a patient saint. I don't know you because you weren't keeping the laws. And he said it was going to happen. And Matthew chapter 7 verse 21. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. So a lot of people, they say, Lord, Lord, they call him the Lord, They call him the Lord, but they don't know his real name. They call him the Lord, but they still go to church on Sunday and they're not keeping the Sabbath. Right? They call him the Lord, but they still eating abominable foods. They call him the Lord, but they still committing fornication and adultery. They in all kinds of sin. The Most High said in Luke, it's like in Matthew 25, I don't know you, because you weren't keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. He says it's going to be many. Verse 22, many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have we cast out devils? And in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity. Whew, man. That's what you don't want to hear in the day of the Lord. Depart from me. Because they weren't keeping the laws. They were foolish virgins. They didn't have that oil. They had the lamp, but they didn't have that oil. Right? Our people got that zeal for the Most High. They want to serve Him. They can't help but seek, they can't help but try to serve Him and want to do the right thing, but they can't keep the commandments to save their life. They just believe. They got the faith, but they don't have the works. It don't work like that. Shalaki, I don't mean to get off topic or nothing. So, Matthew chapter 6, verse 22, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thy eye be single, thy whole body should be full of light. So, the light of the body, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, is the eye. Your spiritual eye. Because it tells you in Psalms 111 and 10. Let's go ahead and get it. The Psalms, chapter 111, verse 10. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do His commandments. His praise endure forever. So, if you fear the Most High, meaning you love Him, you serve Him, that's the beginning of wisdom and a good understanding. So, it's back to Matthew chapter 6, verse 22. The light of the body is the eye. That's how you get your spiritual eye. That's how you get spiritual discernment, by keeping the commandments. Now you're building your spirit up. Right? That's the beginning of wisdom. Fearing the Most High. It says, if therefore thy eye be single, full and complete, thy whole body should be full of light. It ain't got nothing to do with that third eye doctrine. That's Elam's doctrine. The East Indians and right, that's Elam. It ain't got nothing to do with so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But according to the word, your spiritual eye, you get that by keeping the commandments. And then, you can see into the future, because the Most High going to reveal these prophecies. The Most High going to reveal these prophecies, these mysteries, these metaphors, these and these parables to you, because you're keeping the commandments. He said He revealed it to His saints. His saints are those that has the patience and the faith and the works. So, if you want to tap into your true spiritual eye, which would be Shalaki, if you want to tap into your true so-called third eye, you keep the commandments. And Shalaki, and all that is your spiritual eye, or your spirit. Keep the commandments, build up your spirit, you get spiritual discernment, you get the understanding on the prophecies, you understand what's to come to pass, and Most High willing, you get the kingdom of heaven as well. But if not, you go into that third eye doctrine that Elon created, you're going to be full of darkness and evil. It's going to pull you away from the Most High, and it's going to cost you and lead you to your destruction.